Auto layout is one of the amazing features of Figma. It can help you streamline and speed up your design process, especially when you work on the bigger projects. But is it always a good idea to use it? I will teach you today what the Figma auto layout is, how to use it, and what is most important when it's best to use it. Auto layout, in a sense, is very similar to base components of HTML documents. In HTML, we have block and inline elements which define document structure. Auto layout is similar. It's a property you can add to frames and components through which you can build your layout structure. It allows you to create designs that grow to fill or shrink to fit and rearrange automatically as their contents change. This is great when you need to add new elements, accommodate longer text, or maintain alignment across your designs. To use auto layout, we need at least 2 layers or elements. First, select those 2 layers. Now, you can create auto layout in several ways. You can right-click and select auto layout from the menu. You can also click plus at the properties panel, or you can use a shortcut. On Mac, it's Shift+A. As you can see, our elements group together and change their position. In the properties panel, we can select how our layout will be stacked together, either horizontally or vertically. We also can adjust spacing between elements, padding and alignment. Let's move to the next example to better visualize how it works. As you can see, we have one text and one shape layer here. If we create an auto layout as they are right now, look what happens. Figma treated text and shape layers as separate blocks. Let's position the text layer over the shape and then create an auto layout. As you can see, our shape layer disappeared and its properties were inherited by a newly created auto layout. If we would like to resize our button now, it doesn't really work. It also doesn't adjust to the text inside. In order to create a responsive layout, we need to do some adjustments to constraints and paddings. So let's click alignment and padding in the properties panel, set alignment to center, top paddings to 16 points and side ones to 56. Now let's go to constraints panel and set width constraint to hack contents and centered, and height constraint also to hack contents and top. That way our button will maintain the paddings we set and adjust to the text we put inside it. Let's style the button a bit and add an icon. We can do it by dragging or pasting the icon to the auto layout group in the layers panel. We can adjust the order of elements by changing their position in the layers panel. As you can see, there is no distance between our icon and label. We can adjust that by adding 16 points of distance in the auto layout panel. Now let's copy our button and adjust it for reflecting a secondary action. As you can see, when we turn off visibility of the icon, our button immediately adjusts its size, maintaining set constraints. Let's create another auto layout from our buttons. If we would like to resize it now, it won't work. We need to select our buttons in the layers panel and then select a new option in the properties panel, fill the container. Our buttons gain some degree of flexibility and can adjust to the width of other layout elements. Let us move to the next example. Design on the left is created with utilization of auto layout. Design on the right, on the other hand, is not. As you can see, the first one takes full advantage of auto layout features, where the second one would require additional work or creation of separated versions of it to accommodate various changes. So, big question. Isn't it the best way to design interfaces in Figma? Why not to use it all the time? Let me show you the next example. This entire layout is created with auto layout components. Let's assume for a moment that this is a real project that you are working on at relatively late stage of design process. Imagine that you have a great idea or your manager asks you to add something which changes the overall layout structure. Look what would happen if you would like to make a quick change to the layout. As you can see, auto layout can potentially be really hard to work with if you need to make a quick change or you are still at the early stages of the design process, where there are a lot of moving pieces. That's why I personally think that utilization of auto layout is great for later stages of the design process, where your project UI style and UX templates are established. But even then, when you need to create a new concept, it may be a bit frustrating to work with auto layout constraints and structure, instead of focusing on what you want to achieve. In the end, decision of implementing it to your process in Figma is up to you. So I hope I helped you with understanding how to work with auto layout.